Hey guys, welcome along to a new episode. I wanted to talk a bit about the Marvel Cinematic Universe in this video because I have been sucked into it one more time, and there's a lot of criticism moving towards everything at the moment as far as quality goes, and I do have to say there is a noticeable difference in the quality at a certain point in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that's not even touching on some of the other stuff that's coming out at the minute. Just all over the spectrum right now, the quality of content coming out now is not as good as it used to be, and I get sucked right into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I love entertainment. I've had a passion for it all my life, to the point where I've even dipped my toe into trying it myself. Made a few short films here and there. So there's a lot of stuff that I love. And it's not as good as it used to be. It has to be said. So I'm just going to give you my thoughts on where the Marvel Cinematic Universe started to go wrong, in my opinion. As you probably know if you've been watching the videos, I was very excited for X-Men 97 coming out. Was a big fan of the cartoon back in the day, and I wanted to get in, watch the original run of the series, all the seasons of that, before I actually started like talking and doing reviews on X-Men 97. But that's been spotty at best. Like, there's been a video going up here, there's been a couple of weeks worth of nothing, and then there'll be an hour video, and that's because I made the mistake one morning of getting up, sitting down to breakfast, and I thought to myself, I'll put on Iron Man and watch a bit of that for a couple of hours before I get started. And of course, when you start on the Iron Man, that's going to lead into the other films. That was the original run of the Marvel movies was great at, was getting your attention in there, getting you to care about the characters, the story, and keeping you coming back for more. And that's precisely what happened over the last few weeks. So I'm just going to bring up the Disney Plus app here. Which way did I go through this? They have it set up in the timelines. So where are we at now? MCU complete timeline, that's not the one. Why is this a different layout than I had the first time? Right, okay, here we are. The MCU Infinity Saga, which is all the stories. So you've got Iron Man first, fantastic, excellent movie. The Incredible Hulk comes after that, fairly good, wouldn't be one of my favourites in it. Iron Man 2, loved it. Then you go to Thor, great movie. There's a one shot called The Consultant in there, which is very, very good. Captain America, the First Avenger, of course. Excellent film. I think probably one of the best in the entire run. So it's giving you all the movies in order here, kind of like the way they come out, and anything that's related to it is in there as well. So you've got one shots in between it, like a funny thing happening the way to Thor's hammer. That's actually pretty good too. We get up to Avengers, of course. We continue on through it with everything that's coming. So the thing throughout all of that, even the one-shot stuff throughout the Infinity Saga, is all good stuff. All Hail the King in there, even though it's a bit on the random side, is pretty funny. There's one in there called Item 47, which is very good. So of course you go through, and then you get the parts of the original Infinity Saga run where you thought to yourself, okay, there's going to be a misstep here. And probably the first time that question came up was Guardians of the Galaxy. Not a lot of the fans had much faith in how good that was going to do whenever it was coming out, but it surprised everybody. For me, the first, not so much a misstep, but just a movie that just didn't really hold me attention the way I hoped that it would have done was Avengers Age of Ultron. Although having gone back and watched it this time, my opinion on that has kind of changed. Ant-Man was another one that I thought wasn't going to do well, and that was surprisingly good too. Civil War, can't go wrong with Captain America Civil War. Doctor Strange is another one of those ones where you thought to yourself, oh, this could be a bit on the sketchy side. I didn't have much faith whenever it was coming out, but was surprised by how much I enjoyed it. Of course, you start getting up on towards the end of the Infinity Saga, Thor Ragnarok. Quite a few people that I know didn't really take to that movie. I didn't mind it so much. Black Panther, flipping fantastic. Of course, then Infinity War, which is unbelievable. Love that movie. Straight into the action, keeps you hooked from beginning to end. Absolutely fantastic. For me, the wobble starts here. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Not a bad movie, but I kind of feel that the quality in that wasn't just as good as the rest. We get Captain Marvel then, which for me is the first misstep in the run of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Story-wise, okay, but just the characters within the movie, and even Captain Marvel herself, just comes across as being very unlikable in my mind. Then of course we get Avengers Endgame that shuts out the Infinity Saga, which is, in my mind, works well, but what Infinity War set up and what we got in Endgame, even though excellent movie, I was hoping for a little bit better with that, but it is what it is. Closed out everything. Of course, Tony Stark dies down a bit. Captain America finally gets his date and a little dance to close it out. Very good, awesome. The thing that runs through the Infinity Saga is everything is tied together, and there's a clear and concise plan from the first movie right up until Endgame. Not so much with the multiverse saga. Now, I got into it at the start, WandaVision, enjoyed that. Didn't have much of a problem with that there. Although the storyline got a little bit weird coming up towards the end of it, where clearly Wanda is the bad guy in this series at the end of it. If you break it right down, she's one that's causing all the trouble, hurting people and whatnot, and at the end she's just let go, as if, oh, we understand what you were going through, that's okay. No real ramifications in that movie or that series. But then of course later on you get that in what was it, a Multiverse of Madness, which for me had the potential to be a fantastic movie that we just didn't get. Yeah, a lot of this here is videos on their own, really, but this is just my thoughts where everything started to go wrong. As you know, in Captain Marvel is the last, well, it's the movie where they open up the Marvel at the start, the Marvel titles, where you usually have the flashes of the characters within the universe inside the Marvel sign. In this movie it was all Stan Lee, so he passed away at this point, but you know, he was, everything up until Endgame essentially was, he was still there at that point. He hadn't died and whatnot, but the release came out. So perhaps, maybe even, you could say maybe Endgame, he was gone, but the amount of time it would take to shoot those movies and have them in the post-production stage, there was a lot of input, I feel, from Stan Lee throughout the entire run of the Infinity Saga. watching the multiverse saga, the highlights on it for me at this point, WandaVision, okay, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, a lot of good stuff in there, kind of misstep coming towards the end of the run. Loki, for me, I enjoyed season 1, season 2. I was expecting a lot more than we got whenever you had that set up at the end of season 1. But the thing that kind of annoyed me about the Loki series is Loki is getting 2 seasons worth of a redemption story that, why are we getting a second redemption story for Loki when he already had a redemption story in the run through the movies up to that point? This is an earlier version of Loki from the end of the first Avengers movie, so, pointless really at the end of the day. In that way, Black Widow, very surprised at that, and I enjoyed that quite a bit. The What If series, excellent, genius, lots and lots of good stuff in there. But the Shang-Chi, have to say now, that was a movie that I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy it or not. There's quite a few good parts to that movie, not enough to stack it up against the bad on it, but it is what it is. The Eternals, no, that just didn't hit for me at all. When you get into some of the stories and this cinematic universe where everything is supposed to be intertwined and whatnot, for me, whenever I was watching the Eternals, everything that was going on there towards the end of the movie, like the destruction of the entire planet is on the line, whereas the rest of the superheroes from the universe, like the Avengers, where are they going to be? And stuff like that starts to come into my head. Hawkeye, surprisingly good. I really enjoyed that. Moon Knight, very, very good. I enjoyed that quite a bit. Although, maybe a bit of a disconnect from the original comic. Not 100% sure. Multiverse of Madness, bit of a letdown. Miss Marvel, I have to say now, this was a hard watch. This was just the storytelling in this series wasn't great, and that's the problem that a lot of us are starting to have right now. The quality has started to slip from the first Captain Marvel movie coming out. The storytelling on that wasn't great, and you had a few missteps and shows since that, and that could be part of the problem too, where they were trying to take ideas that could quite possibly have been originating as movie ideas and then trying to stretch them into a TV show. Thor Love and Thunder, I enjoyed it. Not great, I have to say, not great. The little series that's in there too, as I say, like they set it out here and the saga and whatnot. There's stuff in there that's it's not all movies and TV shows. There's like short one shots and whatnot. There's a series in there called I Am Groot, which is like 2 or 3 4-minute animations of Groot having these little adventures on his own, baby Groot, and some of them are fairly funny. She-Hulk, this is where a lot of the kickback started coming. People started to give it serious bad abuse. I didn't have much problems with it compared to a lot of other people. Like, people were giving it death for the whole twerking thing. I get it. It's characters that they're trying to update for a modern audience. I get it. But, people have a hard time seeing the things from their childhood getting completely destroyed for the sake of a silly internet trend at the end of the day. As far as the story of She-Hulk went, I was okay with it. I got through it. But again, the writing wasn't that strong in it. Werewolf by Night was very, very good. I enjoyed it. Wakanda Forever, I haven't, in fairness, I haven't made it through that movie just yet. I think that just since the legend himself is gone now, it just sitting down to watch a sequel to him after he died just wasn't for me. The Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, I've kind of seen a little bit of that, but Quantum Mania, I haven't gone near it yet, so I can't give a proper detailed account on it. A huge surprise for me was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. That was incredible. Fantastic movie. Then we get The Secret Invasion, and that show is unwatchable for me. One that I was really looking forward to as well. Like, I thought myself, like, the concept of this show is intriguing, but I got into the first episode and it just wasn't holding my attention in the slightest. Just the storytelling just wasn't there. Samuel L. Jackson, I don't know, he just, there's a stage in the careers of all actors where you think to yourself, okay, this guy has got to the end of the road and he's just taking what he can get at this point. If he's not going to do this, he mightn't get anything else. The Marvels, you know, hasn't even appealed to me in the slightest to even watch this movie. Echo, one that came and went, not even on my radar. But the only things that really jumped out to me in the multiverse saga so far have been X-Men 97, which is great, fantastic. If you haven't seen it, check it out. So out of all of them, let's go back to the start and we'll check it out. WandaVision, yeah. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, yeah. Loki, good pieces here and there, you can take it or leave it. Black Widow, we'll count that as a good one. What If, we'll count that as a good one. Hawkeye, we'll count that as a good one. Moon Knight, Love and Thunder, we'll put that on there. So Werewolf by Night, that's 6. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, 7. So 7 out of all those movies in the Infinity, or the Multiverse Saga, were good, and the rest of them just, it's getting harder and harder to actually enjoy these shows ever since Endgame. So in my humble opinion, I think that the Marvel Cinematic Universe died along with Stan Lee. Since his passing, you've seen a completely different, disjointed cinematic universe from what there was before. So in my mind, I feel that Stan Lee in his last days and that 10-year run of movies was at some point coming into meetings, hearing what they were going to do, giving his notes on it, and getting them to treat the characters with the respect that they should be treated with. And now that he's gone, there's people just doing whatever the heck they want with characters from Marvel history and whatnot. So I don't know, it's a sad, sad day for fans, you know, of me in particular, the biggest pop culture nerd you're ever going to meet in your life, that could easily sit down, put his feet up and watch everything and just enjoy it for what it is, especially knowing from the perspective of someone that's actually tried to make something himself, how hard it is to get something off the ground. I've got the utmost respect, and you've seen it in past videos here where I've said it. You know, I will give anybody the benefit of the doubt, knowing how hard it is to get something actually made and out there in the first place. But now, these days, over the past couple of weeks, having delved through everything up until the point where I just can't watch this anymore. It's just the quality and the respect for the characters. The cinematic universe just doesn't seem to have it anymore. They're just trying to pump out mediocre things. And a guy actually put it in words well. The cinematic universe is that old now. There's people working on these movies and shows that were children whenever Iron Man came out. So they've grown up watching this stuff. But they're not necessarily fans that have love for the comic books that the movies were based upon. And the unfortunate thing today in media is that it's so easy to get things made. You know, what you can do now with a smartphone, you know, it dwarfs what you could do 15 to 20 years ago with a computer. So anybody that has the slightest interest in TV and film at the minute can realistically create something on their smartphone. And the bar for getting into the industry now, like 25 to 30 years ago, if the bar was here for you to get into the TV and movie industry, it's down here right now, where any halfwit can get in there based on, and let's just be honest about it, their politics. At the end of the day, it's no longer about the passion for storytelling and creating a movie or a show that's compelling to an audience. It's all about an agenda. It's no longer, for me, as far as the Marvel Cinematic Universe goes, and I could tie Star Wars into this because I've been reading a lot in the Acolyte over the past week or so. It's no longer an industry where you can... The thing that always appealed to everybody about TV and film was escapism from the real world. You could get in there and disconnect for a little while, chill out, and get away from the stresses of everyday life, and just enjoy a movie or a TV show for a while, forget about your problems. That's no longer the case. There's an agenda getting thrown in there where, you know, you're seeing all this stuff going on in the real world and you think to yourself, okay, I want to go sit down and watch a Marvel movie for a couple of hours and just forget about everything that's going on. And then you're getting bombarded with the same stuff that you're getting bombarded with in real life. And if I have fallen off the Marvel Cinematic Universe as hard as I have at the minute, the Star Wars, I don't know, that's one franchise that I never thought that I would lose love for, but it's quickly happening at the moment. So I'm not going to complain too badly about it. I'm not going to be one of these guys that's going to be making videos every third second to try and fight the system. What I feel needs to happen right now with everything is just let it run its path right now, because really at the end of the day, seeing the way things is going and the amount of money that franchises is losing, so franchises like Marvel, of course, Star Wars, unfortunately Doctor Who now, yeah, we'll just let the ratings speak for themselves and let these guys do what they want, create the content they want, put it out there for the 3% of the population that actually wants it. And when the investment doesn't pay back and the companies finally reach the decision, like, this nonsense isn't working anymore, we're no longer going to finance this, maybe we'll get back to something good and decent. But yeah, just some thoughts on my delve into the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the reason why I haven't put out as many videos as I would have wanted to over the last month, because it was just so pulled in by the Infinity Saga and completely destroyed by the multiverse saga. Right, that's going to do it. Stay safe. I'll talk to you in the next one.